next contest, ladies and gentlemen, is 6 3-minute rounds of boxing in the welterweight division. Introducing to you firstly, boxing out of the blue corner, wearing the black coloured shorts, trimmed with a gold spangle effect. At the weigh-in, he scaled 9 stone, 13 pounds 9 ounces, presenting Fonz Alexander. And opposing him, boxing out of the red corner, wearing the red coloured shorts trimmed with black and white. At the weight, he scaled 10 stone, 5 pounds 2 ounces. His perfect record this evening reads 6 contests, 6 wins. 2 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Presenting from Rochdale, the undefeated Bilal, Billy the Kid Rehman.
Billy the Kid versus the Fonz.
At the bell is Mr. Humphrey. John Latham from Bury is our referee. 6 3-minute rounds.
A little bit similar to John Latham. I think I've had a similar number of 9-minute holidays to him this week. Quite shiny, there's John, Haywood's finest.
Looking to spray tan light ups and things.
And it's been to Tanarife this week. There we go, got a couple of questions I can answer myself. Any chance of Martin Murray versus James De Gale? Surely Eddie Hearn could make that fight. I think Martin's just answered that. It's going to be tough, but he's going back down to middleweights where he feels strongest. Another question here, Martin, got a question for you. Socks with sandals or bareback? That's from Dean Hillman.
Seconds out, round one.
Yeah, I had a pair of Nike Nazareth something with a pair of socks on, so definitely socks and sandals.
If you majority of tweets coming in just wishing you good luck, Martin, saying it's a good move for you going back down to middleweight. You've got record viewing figures tonight, so I'm sure you're only going to add to that. I've heard a little gym story as well. Don't know if you can confirm this to me. I believe you've beat your personal best quite recently.
Which is?
The amount of specials you've had at Youngies in a week. Is that true as well, mate?
Yeah, I've done 3 this week.
Yeah, I think I just missed you one day last week. I got scrambled eggs off Steve, and he said as you was in, you tweeted him. You sent him a message asking what the special was.
Yeah, I've left off for months, but done 3 this week.
Yeah.
It's been very, very addictive.
Yeah, but you're going to get down for Hail the Bird as well. I think that opens, doesn't it, next week?
That's right, opens soon. Yeah, definitely be down for that one.
So, Martin, one of the questions is, what's your motivation now to, you're obviously you're going to carry on in boxing, like you say, the Groves fight wasn't you in there, and you had the fight out in Monte Carlo since then as well. Is it world titles you're still aspiring to? What?
Yeah, but definitely, yeah. Like I said earlier, I don't feel that I'm done. So I'm definitely still going for the world title. But my biggest inspiration, biggest motivation has always been my wife and kids. I'm in this. I've said it from day one. Boxing is a job to me. It simply is a job, and it's a way of providing for my family. And that is my inspiration. Going into every fight, going into every training camp. And when I started my last training camp, I really struggled. So really, I think deep about why I was doing it. And I always talk to my wife and kids. And
what was that you struggled with? Struggled with what? Motivation, the camp?
Getting up after the Groves fight. Yeah. It was on an all-time low. Yeah, it was tough because people they have the saying, you only get out what you put in, and for me especially, that was not related to me because the amount of training I put in for the Groves fight was ridiculous, and that was my problem. I overdid it. Okay. Do you know what I mean? So the fact that I was thinking, I put all that hard work and then got the result that I got, I wasn't happy about it. So I have a break and evaluate things, and I kind of wasn't the fight I wanted to go back to. That last fight, it ended up a nightmare. It was Abraham, then it was Chudinov, and the day before the weigh-in, they picked this guy, that Lowell, who, no disrespect with him, I knew was levels above. But
you didn't look happy in there, from the first spell. I know he was a dirty sod as well. The head was going in. You just didn't look happy in there. I didn't think, as soon as the first spell when you didn't look yourself in your style and everything. I don't know.
No, it was maybe it got to in the night. No excuses. I mean, the referee didn't help. But after the fight, I felt like I did have a fight with the referee. I felt like I'd had 12 rounds war with the referee. But yeah, like I said, it wasn't the ideal fight coming back to. But my motivation this year, it's at an all-time high, so I'm really excited about what's to come this year.
You talk about your family as well there, the wife Gemma, little lad Archie, and the 2 little girls you've got as well. I think your Snapchat account is probably one to follow, innit? I'll let you get a little plug there for your Snapchat account as well.
Yeah, well, I'm not on it that often, but my life is spent with my kids, so when I do go on it, it's usually my kids, and I get good feedback from people saying saying, do you like it? I mean, my kids are proper little characters, you know, they crap me up, so yeah, gives a follow. I'm not sure what their account name is like.
Yeah, we'll find out before the end of the fight, don't worry. So, Mark, next question. So you're down here tonight, I'm guessing, supporting Mark Leach. I remember you walked out with him when he made his professional debut at White's, I think it was, innit? Not White's, that's a lap dancing bar in London.
I did his corner.
That's right, yeah, when and I remember Rocky was there. I think Rocky was there as well, when he made his debut. So what else, you know, who's in the gym, who's one to keep an eye out for down at Oliver's? You know, Oliver's been in the game a long time, and you've been very loyal to Oliver.
Round 2.
Oliver's my main man. You know, I started with Oliver, I'll retire with him. I still learn off the guy every day. He's a great man and a great coach. But obviously, Rocky Fielding, I thought, you know, that fight against Callum Smith couldn't have gone any wrong for Rocky. You know, it just was one of them days where it just won his night. But Rocky's definitely one to watch. You know, he's nowhere near achieved his potential yet. And he's flying in the gym, he's stepping up, he's improving his game all the time. So, Rocky's my pick out of our gym, but we've we just signed Stevie Ward.
Yeah, seen that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the same we've signed. He just signed a professional contract and he signed with Oliver. Stevie Ward, top amateur, top lad. You know, Bob had just come up over our gym. We've got Denton Vassell making a comeback. We've obviously got Mark Leach. And there's loads of up-and-comers, so our gym's buzzing at the minute.
And I suppose the lads in the gym, they're looking up to you, aren't they? Now they're, I'm not saying you're getting on a bit now, Martin, but you're not the young face that you were out. I remember watching you at Lee in the early days and winning prize fighters and what have you.
Yeah. It's I think I turned pro 2007. Obviously 2017 this year. This year marks my 10th year as anniversary as a professional. So yeah, I'm getting on. I'm a veteran. But I don't feel that there's that many miles on the clock. I still feel, like I said, I've got a lot more to give, and like I said, looking forward to this year.
Just number of comments coming in, number of tweets coming in, number of girls just commenting on about your Snapchat story and stuff like that. You're like I say, very popular fight. So if you could have any fight, so we're going to, we get the Rosado fight. Let's say it's not happening, or let's say it is happening. If you could sit here today and you could pick your ideal opponent, who would you look at? If you know, I'll always remember you in the build up to the Golovkin fight, and I remember speaking to a few people. And I don't think I've ever seen anybody as convinced they were going to win a fight as yourself. Going into there, and So if you could pick somebody now, we're going to. Here we go. I'm going to be promoted. I've just won a bit of money on the lottery, or we've just done a bank job. So we've got Langtree Park. We've got it in summer on a Saturday night. Martin Murray. It's not your last fight, but it's your next fight. Who would you want me to go out there and bring over for you? I think Rosado probably would be one of the names, wouldn't it?
Rosado's a great fight, but like I said, I'm after world titles.
Yeah.
So whoever's got a world title, and after trying to do it the hard way and not being successful, I'd like an easy world title fight. You know what I mean? I don't know who's out there for that opportunity. I know there's the German, the super middleweight guy. What's his name?
Tyrone Zug. Zug, the WBA.
Yeah, that Zug. Yeah, definitely winnable fight. Easiest. I mean, they're all hard fights, but I think he's the easiest one out of the lot. So someone like him, but you're never going to get him out of Germany.
Yeah, because that fight's been mentioned for Smigger, hasn't it, a few times, and a few people have seen petitions getting started on Twitter and that to stop him getting the fight, and there's all kinds of stuff.
He's not got the fight,
no.
Smigger. He's fighting. Don King's man was the mandatory, and I think the step aside money he wanted just wasn't there.
Right.
I think he wanted 6 figures to step aside, which he isn't going to get, and so I think Zug's fighting Don King's man, whose name escapes me.
Right. Take it, that'll be in Germany.
And then maybe Smigger will get Zug if he wins, perhaps in the summer.
Yeah, hopefully. But yeah, I mean, I'm back down at middle. I know Golovkin's got
corners 10 seconds
tied up. Billy Joe Saunders, I'd love that fight.
Yeah, that was a fight that I heard a little rumour of, a while ago. I heard a couple of domestic names got mentioned, and I'll throw them out there now. Anyway, I heard Brian Rosie's name was made. I heard that an offer had been made to Brian, and
it was mentioned to me, that fight. Yeah. You never have to ask me, will I take a fight?
Yeah.
Whether it's at middle or super middleweight, I will take a fight. It's just always what's the person.
Yeah, I think you've proved that, mate.
Right.
The fights you've took already.
I'll fight absolutely anybody. So that name was mentioned. One who belts, have you heard?
It was Billy Joe. I think Billy Joe. I think that was more. That was an unsubstantiated rumour. But like I say, there was a Brian Rose. It was a strong rumour. An offer got put to Brian just before he took the Armfield fight.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's a great fight, by the way, Brian and Jack. Really looking forward to that. I think it's a great fight. Obviously, they're obviously good mates. Are they good mates now? I'm not sure.
Yeah, they are. You know what? I've interviewed Jack Armfield for Boxing Monthly. Interviews getting the next one. They're bang on pals. They had that.
Brilliant.
It was mentioned a while ago to them, and they both said, "Yeah, well, you know, if we paid what we wanted, we'll have the fight." Yeah. And then it went away. Then suddenly on a Monday night, they suddenly said we can make it for the money, and they both took it. They went to the press conference the next day, had a chat, said, "See you in 9 weeks. We'll go out then."
That's brilliant.
It's business. It's about. Forget belts. It's about how much money you can amass for the future. People go on about the glory and all that, but you've got to amass as much money as you can for your family, and that's what it's about.
That's it. It is
brutal as it sounds, but you know, it isn't people. You know, it's great that you can be romantic about boxing, but it's not a romantic sport.
No, it's a business. It's a business, and like you said, you have just got to get what you can while you can, because you just don't know what's around the corner.
And in boxing's a sport where you're forgotten very quickly once you're gone as well.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I know when I'm gone, I'm gone. You know, and that's why now I'm trying to get the big fights that I can. But my problem's always been, I've never had anything to offer people other than an hard fight. You know, I've not had a belt where people can come and try and take it off me. They just know that if they go in having a fight with me, they're in for an hard fight, they're in for an hard night, they're in for 12 hard rounds, and not a lot of people want to take that. So that's why I've always struggled getting the fights. You know, well, every time I've fought, it's always been on away soil. You know, I got the Groves fight, it won a world title fight, but it's an eliminator. That was obviously in London, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I'd love the Billy Joe Saunders fight, but nothing's ever been mentioned about that. I think the Eubank fight could be there in the future. I know he's gone up to super and I've gone back down, but I don't think he's physically big enough
not a super
to do it with the big boys up there, like, you know.
And look, if there was a problem over that fight, you could easily make it at 11-10.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, like I said earlier, it'd be my perfect weight. So hopefully, if that fight does happen, it can be on a catch weight.
What about after boxing, Martin? I've seen you on the pads. I've seen you at Digger Bamford. Probably the Northwest best kept secret is Digger.
Yeah,
after boxing,
he's big on the unlicensed scene. He's after making a comeback. But after boxing,
do you be involved in the sport in some way?
Possibly. You know, I do I corner the lads when I do some promotions. Oliver, when he has his own shows, you know, I've got the corner license, so I corner the lads. But I don't know. I'm a qualified youth worker, qualified mentor. Maybe working with kids if I can work with St Helens Council or Wellington Council. But I don't know. You just don't know what's around the corner. You know, I'm
good few years off yet, innit, mate? I'm putting you on the spot. It's a good few years off yet, innit, mate?
Definitely, yeah, definitely. But you know, now I'm still trying to set things up now. You know,
seconds out. Round 4.
Just trying to be as positive as I can. Just trying to work on my life for when I retire, because you just don't know what can happen in this game.
So a couple of fights that people just want to know your thoughts on. The first one is Callum Smith if he gets Anthony Dirrell. There is somebody did tell us a story about yesterday. Dirrell's fighting a Mexican in an IBF, some form of eliminator. Something broke late last night, but Callum Smith if he was to get Anthony Dirrell, how do you see that fight unfolding?
Yeah, I'd take Callum all day on that. Really rate Callum. I think he'd just be that bit too much for Dirrell.
Yeah, and James DeGale, hopefully people are expecting Groves to come through the Chudenoff fight, which I don't think's a gimme any day.
I think that's a tough fight for Groves.
Yeah,
I think it's a very tough fight. I think Chudinov's underrated. I don't think it's as straightforward as people think it is, but you would slightly favour him going into it, and if he fights DeGale, which has been mentioned, I think DeGale wins that fight. I thought DeGale won the first, and if I'm honest.
Yeah.
And I think DeGale's improved more than Groves. Groves is a top fighter, taking nothing away from the lad. It's no sour grapes with him beating me. I got beat by a bigger and better guy on the night. It's as simple as that. But if him and the Gale did fight again, I would pick the Gale.
That's a rematch that has to happen. It's got to happen because the bad blood between them stretches to when they were at the same amateur club at Dale Youth, and when George got a decision over him as an amateur, James, I'm told this now, I'm told that he wouldn't even train in the gym at the same time as him. It's real needle.
Yeah, proper, I think it's got to happen. I think when it got mentioned all them years ago about them fighting and then they fought, and the outcome was the outcome, they was always going to have a rematch.
Another opponent's just been mentioned to you, Davey Boy Essex. Thanks for the tweet. Martin, what about fight with Andy Lee?
Yeah, I've seen a few people mention that. Again,
I think we could do with hanging on for that one till next Paddy's Day, couldn't we? And we'll all invade New York next year, and we'll do it over there.
Like I said, I rate Andy as a fighter and as a person. He's a top bloke, but you never have to ask me about fighting anybody. I know I say it like I will fight anybody, but I will. And at the same time, though, it's got to be a fight that benefits me. You know what I mean? And people are asking me questions on Twitter about fighting these up-and-comers as if I'm kind of like wrote off, you know what I mean? Like I'm just going to be a name for them.
It's like you're going to be the kind of, it's like the crossroads fight for these people, isn't it?
That's it, yeah, and it's not what, I wouldn't take them fights because financially there wouldn't be enough money in it, but the people like the Andy Lee, the Chris Eubanks, the Billy Joe Saunders, step up at super middleweight, all them guys, all the top guys are.
I'm going to ask you about a super middleweight from Liverpool that does split opinion. We've just been talking about one of his brothers, Paul Smith. I know that was a fight that was mentioned. I think when he was middleweight, or when it was looked at, potentially it could have happened at middle. He was kind of heading towards super middle, and now you're possibly looking at going down to middle. And I know he's been anywhere between super and light heavy for a couple of his fights. So,
I've known Smigger from being a kid.
Yeah.
On the amateur scene, I've known him, Steve, not so much Callum and Liam as much, but them two. I grew up with them as kids. When that fight was first mentioned years ago, I bumped into Smigger in Magaluf. It was in 2011, and I just won the British title against Nick Blackwell, and me and my wife Gemma went over Magaluf. Just had a
corners, 10 seconds.
And I bumped into him. He was on his stag. And he was with his dad. It was on Magaluf Strip, and we were just having a chat, and proper respectful, and we just had the chat. Listen, like we've been on about boxing the business. If it works financially for us both, then obviously we fight. It makes sense to. But that's as far as it's ever gone. It has been mentioned once or twice, but there's never been any needle between me and Smigger. If the fight was put to Paul, and it was put to me, and it worked well for us both, then.
A bit like Anfield Rose, in it. If it makes sense for you both, and you're going to get something out of it, if it was an eliminator or something like that.
Exactly, it's common sense, But I mean, nothing's been mentioned, but you ask Paul the same, and he'll tell you exactly what I said.
Okay. Just mentioned Gemma there. I've seen Gemma's doing keep fit classes or something. What is it she's doing? I've seen that they're growing in popular. I've seen you joining in as well in your leotard and whatever it is you were wearing.
Music. She just qualified level 3 fitness instructor, so she's just doing as much as she can now gym wise. I admire and respect her the way that she did it. She did it all at home. She did it all from home. Learn herself. When it's hard and I'm out, it's wild with our 3 kids. You know what I mean? 3 kids under 8. So for her to do that and get the time away and practice that herself and then pass it, I'm made up for. I'm proud of her. So yeah, she's doing well. She just qualified and her classes are going well.
Okay, so just going to ask you for a few one-word answers for a few fights that's coming up on the shows in the coming weeks. A few people like to know Williams and Smith, April the 8th. Who have you got?
I think it's a great fight. I do. I think it's a great fight. They're going to lock arms, them two, and
that chair's made out of plastic, Martin, not wood. Come on, let's get off the no splinters today. Who are we going for?
There's no offence. I'm picking Liam Smith.
Okay.
I think his experience is going to tell. Really, really rate Liam. I think he's a top fighter, and I'm picking him if he fight.
Anthony Crolla, Jorge Linares, the rematch, March the 25th.
Soft fight for Crolla. Soft fight for him. I think, if you ask me who was my money on, a pick Linares, but I do think Crolla can do it. I do think he can do it.
April the 29th, we've got a big fight at Wembley Stadium. Anthony Joshua's tackling Vladimir Klitschko.
That's a tough one for me.
I hope Eddie Hearn's not listening, because if he is, you might get moved to a York Hall, shall we? We need you to pick a home fight.
That's a tough fight.
I think people are writing Klitschko off, aren't they?
I think they are, yeah. I mean, I think if there's anything like his last performance, I think you've got to go with AJ. But maybe he wants to redeem himself, I don't know. But I think AJ's going to do it.
Gennady Golovkin and Daniel Jacobs.
Golovkin, I've said this many times. I fought Jacobs in the amateurs. Top fighter. I think it's unbelievable what he's done coming back from having cancer in his spine. I think he had the neck. I think he's a great fighter. But having fought, you know, the top guys at middleweight, the top guys at super, you can understand after fighting all them, you can understand when you fought Golovkin that the guy's on another level. He's on another level, honestly, and I don't think there's anybody up there who beats him at middleweight. And you know, I know Jacobs has been chinned before off Perug, who I thought was a great fighter. You know, it was a shame he had to retire when he did, because I think him and Golovkin would have been a great fight. But you know, he's shown that that when he gets it proper, he does go. And Golovkin's obviously one of the biggest punchers in the game right now. So Golovkin, like I said, I don't think anybody beats him at middleweight.
Okay. Pass back over to Lillo there. Figure grudge enough. Just one question from me, Martin, before I pass back over to Lillo. Another sporting question. Heated rivalry. It's been known to get very passionate between both sides. Is it finally Warrington's year this year in Super League, mate?
It's always your year, mate.
Always are you. Well,
it's always your year.
Pass it to you now, Lillo. Might have it going off in the commentary box here at this rate.
What sport's that? Rugby league?
Yeah, rugby league, mate, yeah.
London Broncos will win it this year, won't they? Are they still in the Super League?
I think they're hovering round again, aren't they? I know they played Wigan in a pre-season friendly.
They went close last year, actually, in the Championship. They had a good, unexpected good year. But this year, Hull KR must probably win the Championship, I should think.
Yeah, another local team to me and Martin Lee. They've just come up. They had a tough game last night. Yeah, they're unlucky not to win. I think they blew it with about 4 minutes left in overlap, and right pass didn't get given.
And I'm obviously a Saints fan, but I live in Warrington now with my wife and kids. But when I was growing up, when my lad was growing up, when he was born, I took him beyond those and rode a few games. But then I just dropped my guard, and my wife and the in-laws, the die-hard Wire fans, and they took him, and now he's a Wire fan.
Yeah, I have seen Archie in a...
There's no coming back from him.
I've seen him in a Warrington top, mate. Been a good performance this has from Bilal. Got a bit carried away here, talking away to Martin. He's boxed well, hasn't he, Steve?
He's just too big. He's far too big, too long-armed, and you know, Fonz Alexander, when you talk a journeyman, he's one of the toughest ones out there, and he usually puts himself in the front a lot more than this, but the guy's size is just too much for him tonight.
Yeah, tough kid, Fonz.
Very, very tough. I saw him. He was on a Box Nation show a few months ago against, and he lost on points to Sanjeev Shote.
Yeah, he rocked him, didn't he?
Rocked him. If he'd been the house fighter in that first round,
stopped.
He stopped, I should think.
Just read through another couple of questions now, guys. Hashtag VIP Boxing Live. Phone's gone absolutely mental since we had Martin.
You're naming some fights here, some fantastic fights coming up the next couple of months here in Britain. Absolutely tremendous it is.
Yeah, do you know when BT got involved with the sport, and then the rumours of ITV were getting involved? I didn't think we had the depth of boxing in Britain to headline the shows and then chief supports and what have you. But you look at some of the shows that's being put on. Frank Warren, I know people's got their opinions on him, and the Eubank and people's got their opinions on him. We had David Price and Christian Hammer, on the Eubank show, and then you look at the shows that Frank's putting on. I really like the Sutcliffe fight.
Tremendous.
I think it's a fantastic fight on May the 13th.
I'm a really big fan of Josh Levers. I think he's a really, really good young fighter. And I've watched him from day one, and he's got better and better and better. But Sutcliffe is a massive step up from what he's been facing. Albeit Sutcliffe had that hard fight with Chris Jenkins recently. But it's a tremendous fight. Big fan of Josh Lever. There's a good flyweight in that gym as well. Joe Mafoso just turned over, who was on the GB squad.
What's the plans for the rest of the weekend then, Martin, when you get out of here?
I'm going...
there we go.
I'm going Wigan tomorrow, watching Wigan and Cronulla.
Oh, right, yeah.
I'm going the World Cup Challenge.
Yeah, okay.
And,
how did Warrington get on tonight, do you know?
No, I don't know.
I've not checked yet.
No,
I'll have a look for you.
It's quite funny, you know. I think it was this time 2 years ago. I was out in Monte Carlo. I was sat hammered in an Irish bar with Brazy. Was away for your fight when you boxed Golovkin. I think that was the World Club Challenge weekend, weren't it? Yeah. That was one of the bizarre moments when you just turn around an Irish bar and Lee Brazy's sat there and.
He's a good lad, Brazy. Just got the England Academy job.
Yeah, fantastic. That isn't it? He's really good.
He's great player, Lee. Great coach. I know it's rugby league on the balls with a boxing show, but
ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of
well
welterweight action,
he's done a couple of corners as
John
well.
Latham has scored this particular contest 60 points to 54 points for your winner. He is now undefeated in 7 professional contests, hailing from Rochdale. Still Billy the Kid, still Bilal Rehman.
Good performance
really intriguing fight. Let's hear it for Fonz Alexander as well.
Good performance there from Billy the Kid.